Hey everybody, it's Mr. Reality. I'm joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, how's it going?
Oh, great. Thank you.
I want to thank you and all your patrons out there for their donations, and I wanted to thank you for giving me the time to ask some questions about the most recent Robert Francis Pvost, who's been crowned Pope Leo the 14th recently.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a mind probe. What a great idea. Thank you.
And so, the first American pope, it's kind of neat that we have a pope that's American, and he took the name Leo. So that's an interesting, I don't know if it signals anything with his legacy, but I wanted to see if we could get into the mind of the Pope and figure out what he's doing, how he's moving into the new job. Was he surprised?
How are you doing? Oh, he is great. I feel that from him. He is really doing quite well. He loves being the Pope so far.
Was he shocked? Or was he I mean, because there's a lot of people that get to vote. So was he surprised?
Were you surprised? Yes, he was. He was quite surprised. He thought that he was up against some very strong contenders, um, that were more traditional, he says. He was surprised for sure.
And so what does he think about what he wants to do to strengthen relationships with other religions as his role as the pontiff?
What do you want to do to strengthen your relationship with other religions? Do you want to do that? I mean, he does want to do that if the other religions are open to it. It's just about almost like forming a committee is what he's showing me. He's giving me a visual of like different leaders sitting around a table. They're all meeting. And it's really a gosh, it's really about how are we going to make religion survive?
So in your view, how do you view the Muslim Brotherhood and their connection to the church right now?
You, the Muslim Brotherhood.
Or maybe
I
Muslim
mean,
faith? I don't know if
the
the Brotherhood is
Muslim,
a specific faction.
yeah, he was like, how do
don't
you view the
want to
Muslim
cause
faith,
a
right?
holy war here, but yeah. So does
Right. How do you, you're so funny. How do you view the Muslim faith? Well, okay. In his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, Liz, why do you always say that? Because a lot of times people get so emotionally caught up in this stuff and they think this is me
don't get
talking and
mad
not
at the
the.
messenger. Right.
No, really. He says they have a lot to learn about humanity, about civil rights, women's rights, um, rights of the vulnerable. He would like to be very instrumental, if that is possible, in bringing that to them and possibly persuading them to uphold or certainly adopt some more laws that would protect vulnerable people.
Hmm. How can the church engage more effectively with Buddhism and Hinduism?
How can the church engage more effectively with Buddhism and Hinduism? So, in his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, again, he actually believes like the Catholic Church is higher than those religions, right? More established, more wealthy, following a set of laws. As just he believes that the Catholics are ahead of the other some of the other religions.
And so does he not think it's necessary for him to engage with those other, I mean, they might be older than the Catholic religion and Hinduism and Buddhism back there. So does he think that he's not going to engage with them, or does he want to have somebody else reach out to those other leaders? It sounded like he was trying to form a committee, maybe of interfaith people. How far out does that look like it might come to fruition.
Hmm. Will he form a committee? I feel like he will form some sort of committee. And do you want the Hindus and the Buddhists to really come to the table? I mean, the way he's putting it across to me is they're not as organized as the Catholics or the Catholicism. It's just not as organized. It's not profitable. Um, there's not a established hierarchy that is solid. He's really looking at it from that standpoint, but I'm going to ask him again, do you want them to engage in the committee? Oh yeah, well, definitely if they want to engage in the committee, he would leave that open to them. Yes.
Has
I
he ever
don't
heard
think,
from God? Oh, go
sorry,
ahead. Sorry.
I have to give this to you. I'm sorry, it's coming in. I don't think he'd be willing to take any advice from them. Go on. Sorry, your next question.
Has he ever talked to or heard voices in his head that he thinks are from God?
Have you ever heard voices in your head that you think are from God? He believes he has open communication with God all the time. And is it in the form of like voices in the head? It's not really so much voices, it's more of a knowing.
Okay. How about what he plans to do with the church? There's been a lot of allegations of abuse and sexual misconduct situations and cases, and there's rumors that he might help sweep them under the rug like other popes have done. Does he have a plan, or is he going to make a plan to help address some of those issues that might be carrying forward or some of the past issues?
Do you have a plan to address and the sexual assaults, the rapes, the sexual allegations, and the allegations of abuse in the past? No, he has no plan for that. He's going to carry on as normal.
Guess we don't expect to see anything changing in that regard. Is he surprised by the fact that he has so much power now, or is there somebody more powerful than him that says what he can do?
Are you surprised by the fact that you have so much power? Yeah, but I don't feel he would abuse that power. Are there others more powerful than you? I mean, I feel like he gets a lot of guidance, a lot of advisory boards. He has to act within reason. I don't feel he wouldn't overstep the mark and do anything radical. Certainly, as I'm tuning into him right now, I'm not picking that up at all.
Okay. I wanted to know about his stance about the church's involvement in international diplomacy, like specifically about Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Palestine and other areas where wars might erupt.
What is your stance on uh, international involvement, specifically with regarding to the wars going on at the moment? He does not want to get too involved. And this is what I love about the mind probes. No matter what the PR spin is, whatever the press is reporting,
Right.
whatever the conscious mind is reporting, he really does not want to upset people. What I am getting very strongly, very non-confrontational, doesn't want to rock the boat at all. So what do you think about specifically the Ukraine-Russia war? Well, I mean, he's horrified by it. Like, who wouldn't be? What do you think that you can have some involvement? He goes, well, we're trying. We're trying to, very diplomatically reach out. And I'm like, are you speaking with Putin? And they have. I mean, they've got sort of you know, um, almost like we foreign secretary, but they do have do you say you have a diplomat, almost like a diplomat, but they have to tread very carefully around Putin. They don't want to upset the Russians. They understand that the Russians are, according to him, uh very much victims of mass propaganda. They're not getting the whole story, and is what he's telling me. And he doesn't want to upset those, followers. He believes that the Catholic Church is a beacon of light to all of those people, the Ukrainians as well. And I'm saying, okay, so what are you doing about the Ukraine? Are you actively involved? I mean, they do have missions on the ground, okay? I do see and feel that very strongly. He is telling me that almost like first aid, hospital workers, things like that. They do have people there. But as far as like getting involved politically and having anyone turn on the Catholic Church, listen, he just said to me, we need all the followers we can get right now. And this thing is so volatile that if he or the Catholic Church upsets its followers, they're going to become less relevant than what they are now. Right now, while there's a war going on, you know, church and God and Catholicism is very relevant because that's what a lot of them, that's all they have.
Does he have any plans to help strengthen the church's position and try and gain more followers?
Going to strengthen, do you have any plans to strengthen the church's position and gain more? I mean, they're always trying. They like to go. So what he is telling me, okay, this guy is just following what they've always done before. Okay. I feel that so strongly. Um, they like to go to areas where there's a lot of vulnerability, poverty, uh, famine, lack of medical care. That those are the easiest people to convert.
So they're going to the downtrodden, they're going to the people there. It doesn't sound like he wants to make waves in other, you know, he doesn't want to make the wrong wave, I guess.
Is it that you don't want to make the wrong way? No, no, his goal is that he wants to try to not make people hate the Catholic Church because it's so easy to hate not just the Catholic Church, but any organized religion right now. People are turning away from religion, and it's important that they don't hate us.
Is he planning to do anything to help modernize any of the records, maybe digitize some of the church's archives to get them online so people could see them, or doesn't he want to do that either?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you want to modernize or digitize the archives in the Vatican? And so more people can connect with this information? No, no, but that was a really good question. At the moment, that's a no. So let's ask the previous Pope who's standing here, will they ever do that? Will they ever make the information and the files and the archives digitized online so that people, yeah, they will eventually, but I feel this is so far out into the future.
Is Pope Francis able to provide any insight, or did he know? I think he was really close with Prevost, I think. So he probably has. Is he very excited about the next pope?
Very excited. Yes, I mean, he thinks he's going to do a good job. This guy is just to maintain.
And so, Mr. Prevost, is he going to have a long legacy as Leo the 14th, or will health problems come in his? And he's 50, 69, so how long do we have till the next pope? That's really what people want
Oh
to
my
know.
gosh.
Is he the last pope?
Uh,
Everyone always says it's the last pope. And I think there's no last pope. It's going to keep going on.
are we ever going to get to the last pope? Yeah, but that's like thousands of years out. Um, so is he going to have a long legacy or is he going to have a long reign or life ahead? Not really. No.
Has Prevost ever been pope before? Francis had been pope 3 times before.
Mm. Have you ever been pope before? I feel what I'm getting, show me. Have you ever been Pope before? He's been at the Vatican before. And have you ever been Pope before? No, but he's been a small boy who was very close to a Pope. I feel that he was orphaned. He was adopted in the Vatican, put to work as like one of the
That probably didn't end
popes.
well if it's a small boy going to work in the Vatican. We don't want to go down that
Right,
route because
right.
things don't work out well.
He wasn't
How?
abused. He wasn't abused.
Oh, that's good.
It was
I thought it was
it was
going
quite
dark.
a few hundred years ago. Um, and he just admired the Pope so much that when he redid his life plans for this incarnation, he wanted to be Pope.
I saw Prevost's brother interviewed on TV, and they said a lady down the street said when they were growing up that his brother would be Pope. And so the neighbor must have been a psychic medium too and saw his future. Um,
Oh.
what are Prevost's top priorities for the church in the next 10 years? Here we are, 2025 already. Can you believe it?
Hmm. What are your top priorities for the church in the next 10 years? It really is about balancing the books, not going into debt, wealth preservation, preservation of followers. What else? I think there's going to be some overhaul at the Vatican, a lot of redecoration, remodeling, things like that. Um, Making it more attractive again. Listen, they used to have lots and lots of followers, lots of uh people coming to the Vatican. That's even dropped off now quite a bit. And they depend upon that for financials. So about building that back up again, really about just being there when people need them. I'm going to ask him a question if you don't mind. We're getting into, as we've done so many probes now, and we see the direction that financially everybody's heading in. There's going to be a bigger rich poor divide. You're going to have more poor people again, the middle class, and all that is going. What does the church intend to do with regards to the fact like there's going to be more needy people, there's going to be more poverty stricken people? Are you actually preparing for the future of how this things are playing out economically? And that's a no. They're not taking that into consideration. The fact that because charity and feeding people, clothing people, providing medicine, there's going to be a lot of more people at the food bank going forward. So do you not see that at all? No, he does not see that. So there's no preparations to grow that charitable wing or outreach.
Does the Pope or the Vatican hold any crypto assets?
Ooh, just do you hold any crypto assets? Personally, no.
Hmm, that's interesting. how does he feel he wants the church to approach the persecution of people that are proclaiming their Christianity across the world? You know, we have religious prisoners. Is he going to try and intervene in any way or use the power of the church?
Are you going to try to intervene in any way when you see Christians that are being imprisoned for their religion? Oh, no, he feels very strongly about that. Yes, they will try to negotiate. And oftentimes, these negotiations, he says, are exchanges of money, but also you have to find somewhere for these people to go. You can't just have them free from prison and then send them back to where they were in prison in the first place. So it's about establishing a life somewhere else, a safe haven. And yes, so he does feel very strongly about that.
What are his plans for trying to bring more revenue into the church? Because if he's going into poor worlds to try to get more people in, it doesn't seem like a very good plan. But he's just beautification, or does he have any other money stream ideas he wants to implement?
Do you have any other money stream ideas that you want to implement? Yes, he does. Creating water, a bottled water or a water company, selling products to raise money for the church. Um, what do you think about like Catholic schools? Do you believe that Catholic schools are still as popular as they once were? No, he does not. They're falling, are they closing down? In some countries they were. See, they used to have Catholic schools that could operate in poor countries and provide a very good education, but a lot of those schools have been closed down. So let's ask, do you have any plans to possibly try to reopen those? No, not at this time. No.
How about reaching out to people maybe digitally? I know that, you're more of a, I don't know if you're hip or not, but you used to work out, you take care of yourself, you're a Chicagoan, so you might be up on new trends. Do you plan to bring the church into the 21st century in any way?
Are you going to move the church online in any way? Not really. No.
Well, I think you need a better TikTok marketer and a better YouTube marketer because you don't have very many followers, but take advantage of the momentum while you've got it now. And we'll check back in with the Pope in a little bit just to see how things are going. What can he tell us about the Ark of the Covenant? Has he looked, and what is the most secret thing that he wanted to find when he first became Pope?
Ooh, what is the most secret thing that you wanted to find when you first became Pope? The gold. He wanted to see how much gold was actually in the Vatican. Is it a lot? It's a huge amount of gold. Huge.
Maybe we need to doge the Vatican.
Right, right. Take a count and see if it's all there. There's a lot. There's a lot. And what else is there? Lots of silver, lots of bronze, precious metals, money. Oh, there's lots of money there, jewelry, things like that.
Does he have plans
Uh,
to redistribute that to the people?
do you have plans to redistribute that to the people? No, never.
Mine, 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 mine. You can't have my gold.
Well, I've got a couple of questions. What about like the indigenous children in Canada that were subjected to lots of abuse? They were murdered, they went missing, and that was all to do with the Catholic the Catholic schools in Canada, like, did you compensate those people? I feel that they have been received some compensation, but was it adequate compensation? It will never be adequate compensation for the abuse victims. I mean, there's people still walking around today that were subjected to horrific abuse in these schools up in Canada. And what about all the children that have lost their lives? And I mean, he's kind of looking at that as well, that's not a good part in our history, but what can he do about it? And I'm saying, would you offer any compensation now after we hear that there's all this gold, all this money, all this jewelry, all these precious metals? Would you be willing to offer any of that in compensation to these victims of, and it's not just in Canada, there's lots of places around the world, to these victims of abuse? And he says no.
Does he feel that that gold is his now, or is that part of the Catholic Church or the Vatican, or who does he see that distribution ownership?
Do you feel that that gold is yours now? I mean, he feels that he's in charge of it and he is to, hold it. What about would you ever distribute any of it? No, never. Like, he believes in his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Like, that is totally forbidden. You want to preserve the wealth. You don't want to just go giving it away. That would be such a radical move. This guy is not a radical. Can we ask him how he feels about Trump?
I want to ask him how he feels about biotechnology and gene editing first, and then artificial intelligence, and then Trump. Sure.
Okay. So what about the bio editing?
Yeah, there's now CRISPR technology. You can edit people in embryo. How does he feel that that affects the person? Does he think it changes them? And what does he think about artificial intelligence?
Ooh, what do you think about artificial intelligence? Ooh, he does not like it at all. What do you think about bioediting? He thinks that we're playing God, like it's dangerous. And what was the other one?
Uh, the bioediting, the gene editing, and does he
Oh,
think that AI is demonic?
do you think that AI is demonic? He thinks that it has a lot of dark tendencies. Yeah. What do you think about gene editing? Now, if it's about getting rid of diseases in the genes, he does not have a problem with that. No. But if
How does
you
he
are
feel?
just using bioediting to because you want a boy more than a girl, or you want your child to have blonde hair or brown hair or whatever, now he thinks that's terrible.
How does he feel about gay marriages?
How do you feel about gay marriage? I mean, he seems to be okay with it. I don't feel he has a very strong opinion one way or the other.
And how many incarnations has Mr. Prevost had as a human being?
How many incarnations have you had as a human being? Oh, he's pretty up there. He's in 500s. Yeah.
And is he going to bring any beers and brats to the Vatican? Maybe like a stand outside that sells brats?
Oh my God, you're so funny. Beer and broads? No. No.
I was hoping. What does he feel about the current president of the United States?
Ooh, what do you feel about Trump at the moment? He does not like Trump. He really is not a pro-Trumper at all.
So I saw that he was being invited by J.D. Vance to talk at the White House. Is he afraid of dying? Does he? And since the last pope met with J.D. Vance and then died the next day.
Oh no. All right. What do you think about being invited to the White? I mean, he'll go. And what do you think about like meeting JD Vance? I mean, he'll listen to what they have to say. And are you going to allow them to, set any ground rules or?
Oh, there
No,
they are right
he's
there.
not
There
going
they
to
are.
listen to that.
So he's just trying to be nice, just trying to talk to people. What does he hope to achieve? What does he hope people to say once he's gone about his papal reign of Leo the 14th?
People will say about your reign as Leo the 14th that he was, yeah, that he was kind and he was nice and that he maintained the Catholic Church and that what? That he did the job he was supposed to do. And this guy is very, mm, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know why they voted him in? Like why let's ask this question because the more I'm getting this, he comes across like a one of those politicians that are easily controlled, right?
Hmm. We could
Let's
bring
ask
in the
this.
conclave as a consciousness and maybe ask the conclave of papal members what drove them to this decision. Were they manipulated, and why did they want this guy at the top of the church?
Yeah, because this guy is very, I'm wondering if he's going to be easily controlled, right? So let's ask the conclave. So let's grab them as an entity. Um, why did you choose Leo the 14th? Because he is a good representation of the Catholic Church. What do you mean by that? He looks good, he sounds good. He again, here we go. They chose him because he is non-confrontational. Did you choose him because he is not a radical? Yes, that's exactly why they chose him. They do not want to call attention to themselves by someone being out there protesting, wanting to make radical changes that may backfire and not in the church's favor, obviously. Are you, did you elect him because he's easily controlled? I mean, he's very much like he takes on the advice and follows tradition.
All right. Well, Your Holiness, thank you so much for joining Liz Cross and Mr. Reality. We appreciate your time, and we'll look inside your head again very soon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what people were thinking. Were they wanting someone radical? As we, that was a good point that you made there to probe the conclave and to see that that is exactly what they don't want. They don't want radical, like we should do a whole probe on them and what they think the Catholic Church should be doing going forward. Are they willing to move with the times? I'm getting a very much a no. I don't think they want to move with the digital age, really. We should do a thing on how that's going to affect the church in the long run. I
All right.
think in the long run, if they're going to be forced into it eventually, uh, just to maintain some sort of relevance is what I'm getting. But overall, they don't want that. So thank you for putting this probe together, and the questions
Yeah, thank
were
you.
great as always. And don't forget, Mr. Reality does have a tip jar listed down
Yeah,
below.
thank
This
you.
was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody.